Hi there friends, it's Morag here. I have a scrapbook layout for you using the hip kits for December, and in particular I've used the colour kit that came in December, which features a stencil set even, and three pots of shimmers. And the stencils are really clever because they are a plaid pattern, so that you can overlay them to create your own fun plaid backgrounds. So I thought I'd have an experiment, and I've used some pink colours. So I started off with Tattered Rose, I believe, in Distress Oxides. And I'm applying it to my background using some makeup brushes. And these brushes are really dense, so they give you really good easy coverage, which is great for this large stencil. So as you can see here, I've laid my stencil down, lined it up with my T-square ruler, and I've just held it into place lightly with some washi tape, and then I'm blending that Distress Oxide ink through the stencil using a circular motion so that you get a nice even coverage. So you just need to be careful to line that up. Now, when I looked at it afterwards, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should have overlapped the stencil so it was natural grid. But you'll see when I come to do the next layers, actually it looks fantastic in the way that I've done it here. But I guess that's the beauty of the stencils, is that you can mix and match and create different patterns. So I think the opportunities are so exciting because you could use different colours to create some real funky backgrounds of your own. So this is stencil 2. So I've started with the lighter ones, then worked my way through the darker ones. I'm guessing it wouldn't really matter which sequence that you did them in. So if you wanted to use this stencil first with a lighter colour and then go over the larger stencil then with the darker colour, I think that would work equally as well. I'm just guessing if you go from lighter to darker, that would be the best way to apply it. So again, I've lined this all up, and you can see because I've got the top edge of this particular stencil, there's a kind of a double section, so that gap I left earlier on, I think it's filled in nicely with this one. But again, you could overlap them and you would probably get a slightly different pattern effect. I love how easy it is to use, and to clean my stencil I'm just using a dry paper towel, and that's one of the easiest ways to clean up that stencil when you're using ink. So it's worth taking your time and lining up your stencils to really get a good professional finish. And this one's just got a very thin pattern now, so it's really just some of the detail, and I'm using Picked Raspberry for this one. As you can see, it's a bright pink colour, and I've used a smaller makeup brush for this too. I could have carried on with the bigger brush, but I think I haven't got as many big brushes, so I didn't really want to mess it up with such a dark colour. And it is a bit bright here, so you can't see some of the detail, but you'll see that in the close-ups at the end. But I love how it turned out. It's turned out really fabulous. So I'm going to do a whole sheet, a background sheet for myself. And you wouldn't be restricted to just using white cardstock either. This would look fantastic on some pale cardstock, and then overlaying that, the different coloured inks with the stencil. So just be careful not to lean on your stencil, because I've done that in the past. That ink that sits on top of the stencil there will transfer to your hand really easily and then onto your paper. So all your hard work will be ruined. So it's a good top tip for you, just to make sure that you're not leaning on it and transferring that ink. So that's all done. You can see here I've fussy cut some of the flowers from one of the papers in the main kit. I am the biggest fan of fussy cutting. It's not for everybody. And what you'll find in the embellishment kit, there are similar flowers, if not the same flowers, already cut for you. So if you're not a fussy cutting person, then go ahead and look in that embellishment kit, and you'll find there's a whole raft of flowers in there for you. So I have mounted my photo onto some pattern paper. It's like a gorgeous coral colour, or deep coral, and I feel like I want to use that striped paper then as a banner. I'm keeping it fairly simple because I think I really want to show off that plaid background that I've lovingly created. So for the rest of it, I'm keeping it fairly simple. And I was just flicking through all the gorgeous papers in the December kit, in the main kit, and just going to decide what other papers I could perhaps use. So this was my first layout for this kit. So I was trying to be a bit frugal because I'm not sure what other assignments I would need for the month. So I'll try and start off light with my embellishments and papers, just so I've got plenty for the rest of my projects this month. And you'll see here, this is the chipboard sticker set that came with the main kit. Absolutely stunning as always, but these chipboard stickers are really thick. They've got a beautiful finish, and it has different sizes frames, different shapes. It's got titles and some embellishments, and it's just really versatile and fun. So I am going to steal one of the frames from that sticker set, and I think I'm going to offset it on the right hand side there, and then lay up those flowers and so on the frame. So it'll take me a little while just to decide, what's going to go where. So when you cut out those flowers, there are a lot of connective flowers and leaves. So you might need to chop some off and redistribute those just to make them fit your shape if you need to. But there's a fantastic mix of that deep coral colour. There's a little bit of mustard, pale pink in there, as well as some monochromatic leaves. So I think very, very versatile. So these paper bows came in the embellishment kit for December. So there's a whole bunch of different bows that you can mix and match, which are really fun. So just to help them along, I've curled mine around a pencil first, just so that they are nice and round rather than getting little creases. I find that just helps because the paper's actually, or the cardstock's quite thick. I'm just going to glue it into place then with a bit of PVA glue. And it does take a little time for it to go off, so you do need to give it a good few minutes just to let that set. And then with the bows, you get some little background tails, are they? I don't really know that's the right word for it. But again, because you can mix and match, I've picked out one of the silver little tails. So it's got a blue bow and silver tail, and then you get the little bit in the middle just to wrap around the centre. I say these are so, because you can have so many different permutations. I love it. So once you've assembled it all, you just need to let it all dry completely before you use it. So I do love those bows. So it's just deciding where I'm going to put it now. Haven't counted the bows, but I would guess there must be at least a dozen in there, which is fantastic, isn't it? Because you'll use those on all sorts of things, of cards and layouts and so on. So I'm just going to pick out some more embellishments. So you can see that little swan came from the main kit. And I'm just going to put that on some foam just to raise it up a little bit. So if you can put anything on foam and make it 3D, then that's got to be done really. So the rest of it came together really easily, just because I really wanted to show off that background. I imagine if you did a kind of a blue and pink version, you know, you can make it more tartan if you wanted to. I think you could just have so much fun with that, those stencils. So I'm just going to lay up those flowers, which might take a little bit of time. And these are the die cuts also from the main kit. So there are so many to choose from in each of the kits this month. I love it when we get exclusives from HipKit. They're just so good value for money. Kim and Kimberly know exactly what we're after as scrapbookers. They know what we like, so they just fill the kits up with, you know, all sorts of fun goodies. So I might lose the will to live trying to decide what goes where. So I'll just finish putting those together, and I've decided to actually put the whole layout onto some of the grey cardstock that came with the cardstock kit this month. And I like that because it just gives it a nice finish, and it kind of gives it a bit of an edge just to contain everything. So I'm going to use just a few more chipboard pieces just to decorate my photo. And pick out some of those die cuts that came with the main kit. So the story behind this photo really is my daughter. She had her first big haircut. She's 16, but then she's had some layers put in, and she's had long hair since forever. But it's all been one length, and she had quite a bit of hair taken off, and then she had these bangs put in at the front, so it was really kind of a big deal. But we love how it turned out. She was, you know, really proud of herself, and it's a bit more sophisticated than the old haircut for sure. So that's about it. I did put some journaling in off camera. And I've topped off my title with the alphas from the main kit. And I'm going to leave you with some close-ups. I really hope you like it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you like it, you could give me a thumbs up and perhaps subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you soon over at HipKit. Thanks then. Bye.